hello there you little starbeams you, this is December Star again and I'm back with another video. On my way home from a family wedding where I was the maid of honour, I'll have you know, I noticed some very interesting rocks on top of one of the mountains. Initially I thought that it looked like the head of a titan, but when I got home I decided to investigate it further and I looked on Google Earth to see what I could find. So let's take a little look at what I found. I think you might find it quite interesting, as did I. As you can see, the rock that I found appears to be part of the skull of a titan. Looking down from above, I could see what appears to be the outline of the shape of a skull, and it could be seen in the markings of the land in the different colours of the earth. Following this, I decided to see if I could find any more interesting markings on the land, and here is a little look at what I found. This here is a quarry, and again this appears to be the head of a titan. I did a video recently about the same subject where people are quarrying the remains of titans. In some quarries, stones are used to build the houses nearby. This quarry is in West Wales. After studying anatomy and physiology for a number of years, this to me looks like the anatomy of a skull with the insides clearly visible. I'll describe these as we go along. Obviously this is a mud fossil, or the petrified remains of a titan, so the anatomy of this being would have changed over time. Some parts would have been decayed, but then other parts of this would have been turned into stone through the petrification process. Outlined in white here, we can clearly see the nasal cavity and the sinuses. At the top part of the picture we can clearly see what remains of the brain, and at the bottom part of the picture is the jaw and what remains of the teeth. Outlined in white here we can see the eyes, the brain, the shape of the skull, the jaw and the teeth. You'll have to excuse my drawings, I'm not very good unfortunately. In this picture we can see what remains of the teeth. Outlined in white are some white rocks which would be the remains of the teeth. Here is what appears to be the throat or the esophagus, and I can see a little bit of what remains of the tongue. Here are some close-ups of what remains of the brain. I was quite amazed at what I found, given that the anatomy was quite accurate, so I decided to have a little look around the surrounding areas to see if I could find any more titans. I found another little quarry, well, Titan quarry, that appears to be the petrified remains of a Titan. That is a mouthful. So here's a little look at what I found. As you can see, this Titan appears to be female and with child. Circled in white here appears to be what remains of her brain. Outlined in white here appears to be what remains of her skull, eyes, nose, mouth, jaw and ear cavity, along with the esophagus. Again, you'll have to excuse my drawing because it's not very good. Here is what appears to be breast tissue in the chest cavity with the lung by the side. This breast tissue appears to be quite developed because, as I said, this lady is with child. At the bottom of the photo appears to be the petrified remains of a fetus in utero. So as we can see, there's a baby Titan, and this lady's breast tissue would obviously be more developed as she is having a baby, because the milk ducts would be producing milk around about this time. Here appears to be what remains of the eyes, nose, mouth, esophagus and a windpipe, and also circled there appears to be what remains of the shoulder. Wales is full of myths and legends about giants and titans, and some of them may be true because, as you can see, the evidence is in the rocks. Well, that's it for this video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and love and light to you.